and I just broke down. I stopped running and I was just like, I'm done. Running to me is one of the most peaceful things I've ever found in life. The community, the challenge, the environment, everything about it is just so exciting to me, and it just brings me so much joy. It's one of the things that has taught me the art of being able to plan ahead but also live in the moment at the same time. Running is my life. When I put my name into this lottery for the 50-miler Brazos Bend 100, I didn't know what to expect. I honestly just wanted to see if it would happen. And then my name got pulled and everything became so real. So real. And so then the question was, well, what's next? So I started training. I started working towards that goal. I started working with my coach. We worked on my endurance, my heart strength. We dialed in nutrition. We got everything ready to go. And before I knew it, it was race day. You know, the day before a race is super interesting for me. I'm not one to get amped up. I'm not one to get super nervous. I'm actually honestly really even keeled throughout the day. More internalized with my thoughts than anything. I spend time reflecting on, you know, what I've done to get to this point, reflecting on the fact that I've earned getting here. You know, it wasn't handed to me. I didn't just one day sign up for a race and say, I'm just going to see if I can do this, which is nothing wrong with challenging yourself like that randomly. But, you know, I earned this. I earned claiming this as a victory tomorrow. And I like to sit in that and remind myself of that. For some reason, it just creates a very even-keeled sensation in me. I don't get super nervous. I don't get super worked up. And that's just how I go throughout the day before a race. You know, and realizing too, like, it's not just about me. Like, this race is about my crew. It's about the people that support my dreams and my aspirations, the people that have supported my businesses, my entrepreneurial career, my ability and my want to push myself. You know, they even if they don't agree with it, even if they would never do it, they support me in it, and I'm so grateful for those people in my life. And so I like to reflect on them. I like to reflect on my God. You know, running is such a act of worship for me in so many ways. And so, you know, I just get to celebrate the fact that He's used this passion of mine that I've developed for His namesake, and it's just something that I like to sit and marvel at and sit in. And so yeah, I just spend the day reflecting on those things. Super even keel. I'm not super amped up emotionally, which, if you know me, is a very interesting fact because I'm a very amped up person. So I'm just not like that the day before a race. I'm very just in my thoughts, very focused, and feel good. So right now we're on the way to go get my packet pickup. I got to swing by my dad's house because apparently there's something for me that they really wanted me to have before the race. Excited about that. So we're on our way to do that, and I will keep you on the loop. That's when you know it's real, ladies and gents. Let's go! You good? When?
So you know when.
Okay, you're recording. Alright guys, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a lunch pack. Super excited about this. So basically now, I'm going to actually feel like an athlete. Ha ha ha. The day of the race, there's so much thought that goes into everything. And one thing for sure is getting ready. I did a lot of studying on, you know, how do I pack for an ultra marathon? What do I put in my bags? And so I started doing that. I started going through like what I was going to eat, what I was going to put in my hydration and my liquids, and just trying to figure all that out. So guys, we are here getting ready. We're putting all of our food, electrolytes, and water together. So I kind of want to walk you through what we're going to be ingesting and why. So first up is our hydration. So this is a gallon. As you can see, I have a 1.6 liter pouch, so it should handle this whole gallon for the first 2 laps, unless I don't drink as much as I should. But we have the first 2 laps here, and in the meantime, I'll have them refill it and add some powders to it. So to start off, we have this gallon. In it is 6,000 milligrams of sodium, so 12 scoops of BPN electrolytes. I ran out of Redmond Real Light, and I really like this stuff, so I went with it. So 6,000 milligrams of sodium, and then we're looking at about roughly 2,500
milligrams of potassium, and about 300 milligrams of magnesium. So electrolytes are there. We did 40 grams of collagen here. So basically so what I'm going to be drinking each 17-mile loop is half of the numbers I'm giving you. So 40 grams of collagen protein. We are going to take caffeine, but that's a whole other conversation. And then we have HMB, which is great for muscle recovery. A lot of papers have shown this is great for muscle recovery. It's something that I've used before. It's something I'm familiar with. We're doing 3,000 milligrams in here. And then we have vitamin E powder. It's just a great antioxidant. It's going to help with the inflammation. Everything I can do to lower inflammation and help with the pain and tolerating it, the faster I can run. Point blank, as far as it comes to hydration and things like that. There is 1,400 milligrams of vitamin E in here. And then we have L-citrulline. L-citrulline is a nitric oxide booster. It helps with blood flow. It's the precursor to L-arginine. It's something that's in a lot of pump workouts because it just helps with blood flow. I want my blood flowing. The better my blood flows, the more nutrients gets to my muscles, the easier my body has to work. Or my body doesn't have to work as hard. We are doing, let's see here. I believe I put 12 grams of L-citrulline in here. So that is hydration. That is what we're doing there, okay? As far as nutrition goes, so and I didn't make it yet, but when I am between each loop, so there's 3 loops. Every time I stop between a loop, I'm gonna be doing Keto Brick with a little bit of raw honey. The Keto Brick is there for my calories, my fats, my protein, and that honey is there to help regulate my cortisol and just keep me at an even keel. We've talked about hormone balance when it comes to ketogenic and low carb running a lot on this channel. So that's what we're doing between laps. During the laps, I'm probably going to start fasted. I am going to start fasted. And then I'll start including these resistant start pouches about 2 to 6 miles in, depending on how I feel. So these UCANs are resistant starch. Again, there for cortisol and hormone regulation. And then there's probably a chance I'm going to want to get calories in me. In fact, at this distance, you're going to want to get in a good amount of calories. And the reality is these only have 70 calories per pouch. That's nothing. So to help with that, I'm going to be bringing Fuel bars and Lara bars. Both of these are bars I trust. They're things that I've checked with my CGM. I trust the way my glucose responds to them. My ketones stay up when I eat them. I don't see a dip in ketones. I don't see a huge increase in blood sugar. Just overall, great bars. So that is pretty much the fuel. So that's the fuel. That's the hydration. That's what we're doing.
And then before I knew it, the night before the race had come, and now it was like, oh crap. All right, here we go. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up super early, and it's on. And it was interesting because I woke up the morning of, and I was just razor focused. I wasn't super nervous. I was razor focused. It almost felt like time was flying by. So first we had to make sure we had everything. Got the food, the clothes, the pens. And then on the ride there, just, really taking time to reflect. My mom and Haley drove with me. Ashley was working, my wife, she's a nurse. And yeah, so we just headed to the venue. All right guys, morning of the race. It's 5:43, on the road, headed there. The nerves are starting to set in. They started to set in this morning. I started to get a little antsy. I don't know, I was thinking, I just have to remind myself, that I earned this. Like, I haven't earned the finish line yet by any means. What I mean by earn, I want to elaborate on that a little bit from yesterday. What I mean by earned is I've earned the right to step on the start line. Like, I've gotten to this point, like, all I need to do is focus on doing the race. And just reminding myself that, I can do hard things. We as humans can do hard things if we're willing to take up that challenge. So just kind of going and processing those thoughts, having a fun talk with my mom as we ride up there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun day. So then we get to the venue, and, you're taught in the world of running that nothing ever goes completely as planned. And then when it doesn't, that's when just like that model becomes real time, like, all right, it's time to adapt. And lo and behold, the minute we stepped foot out of the car, things started to go sideways. All right guys, so
I completely left my entire gallon of electrolytes at home. The entire thing. I have none of my salt, none of my water. Thank God they have salt tabs. It's gonna be a disgusting concoction I'm gonna have to make, but we're gonna make it work. Adapt and survive, adapt and survive. I told my coach yesterday, I was like, nothing ever goes exactly to plan, and if you're not willing to adapt, you'll never win. So here we are, putting foot to mouth.
So then we get in the shuttle, or I get in the shuttle. My mom has to wait for the other one. I pull up to the start line, you know, getting ready to put some salt and water in my bag and get going. And right when I get out of the shuttle, the race starts. And I'm like, oh crap. So I just jump in the line and take off. We get to the first aid station, and I put a bunch of salt and water in my bag, not thinking, I'm just trying to get some salt and water in my bag. Go to take a sip, it's not drinkable at all.
Too much, I couldn't drink it, so it was like undrinkable. So I'm like trying to like take little swigs of salt water.
How many of these?
All the way to mile like 15.
So then, once I finally get that good fresh water in my pack at like mile 11 or 12, I finish out the first loop and everything feels good. 17 miles, I'm used to this. The weather wasn't what we wanted it to be. It was very foggy and humid, whereas the day before or the weeks prior it had been very dry, cool air. So that definitely puts a little bit more strain on the heart. So overall though, great first loop. And then the second loop starts, and that's where things start to get a little hard. You know, midway through that loop, I start to run farther than I've ever ran. You know, I get to mile 27 and it's like every mile passes as a milestone, which I think was really exciting for me because it meant every mile I went was just another like accomplishment. So I think part of that kept me motivated. The sun was out and it was hammering. It was hammering hot, super hard. By the time I got back from that second lap, I was just beat, man. I didn't even like jog to the aid station. I just kind of like unclipped my bag like maybe 50 yards away and walked. I was just like, I just need to sit down and get in the shade. And something that was quite hilarious was I really had to go to the bathroom like a mile before I got to the end of the loop, and I just didn't want to stop running. And so I just let it go. I just peed while I was running. I kid you not.
Because my body's not retaining the fluids. I had to piss myself. Like mile like 30. Oh.
I just was like, you know, I just wanna keep running. I don't want to stop. To be honest, it felt good. It was cold. But we get to the aid station, and they change my socks, and you know, I take some Tylenol and some food.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make 8 hours.
Should be all ready to go.
Where's my food?
In the pockets. Already done.
Beautiful. Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Love you. Go kill it. You're a beast.
And I take off again, and that third lap was extremely difficult. The first 5 miles of that third lap were probably the hardest moments, some of the hardest moments of my life in real time. And there came this moment when I came back around Elm Lake, and I saw my mom, and she came to bring me water to help with the heat. And I just broke down. I stopped running, and I was just like, I'm done.
Are you okay? Are your knees okay? Then you're gonna finish.
You're a beast. You got this, John. You got this.
And she looked at me and she was like, do you have injuries? Are you hurt? Well, guess what, buddy? Those 3 things aren't wrong with you. You got to keep going. I said, no, you're right. And I took off again, and I will never ever forget that moment, because I don't think I would have quit if she would have said, come sit down. I think I would have been even of a harder emotional strain. But it didn't matter. It doesn't matter how I would have reacted if. What matters is that in that split second where my mind was weak, the people around me were strong. And that meant a lot to me. And so I take off again.
You got this.
And, you know, I get to this point where I'm just praying. I've been praying this whole time, you know, just God sustain me, God sustain me. But this last time I was just really out of it. At 12 miles, I was like, God, just get me through these 12 miles, please. And lo and behold, this cloud comes out of nowhere and just covers the sun. And I kid you not, the rest of the run, there was no sun. No sun at all. It was all cast. Felt great. By mile 42, 43, I had enough rest from the heat that I was able to pick up my feet a little bit more and finish strong. So I didn't walk again. I kept running. I passed some people up that had passed me up. Was feeling really good about placement. About a mile out, I get a call from my mom. And she's like, hey, you're in 8th place. And I'm like, what? So I take off like a bolt. I think I ran that last lap at a 9:33, and I don't remember the times right now, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the fastest miles I ran the whole race, was the last mile. Which, one, I think just goes to show my nutrition was on point. I think it goes to show the power of a ketogenic low-carb diet when it comes to conserving energy, muscle mass when it comes to conserving energy. Some things that I think that a lot of the running space takes for granted, that idea of like a low-carb diet and utilizing carbs as like a fuel or like an efficient tool, as well as just having muscle mass and being able to, you know, have that power when you need it. I think those are two things that I have been able to really enjoy due to being a ketogenic low-carb athlete. And so I just take off and I come around that corner.
Good job! Yeah, you did!
And I cross that line and I drop. I drop. It was one of the best moments in the world. You know, I just, it was such an amazing moment of accomplishment. I can't even begin to explain how I felt. And like I said, I just dropped on my back. Lips are blue. My mom's trying to get me to breathe. I'm just like, oh. It was interesting because I had such a good moment, and then after that moment, I kind of forgot where I was, really. It was just like, I was just in pain. Just like aching pain. My dad and my brother had to walk me to the car. I couldn't walk on my own. Everything was hurting. It probably took a good 2 hours for my body to calm down to where I didn't have to keep tossing and turning. And it was just a crazy, crazy experience.
What's up, guys? All right, so final time and placing. I still haven't taken it all in. I can't believe I did as well as I did. Super proud of my team, my crew, myself. We accomplished the goal, and we did so in a very good fashion, so I was happy about that. Aftermath, legs are okay. My left knee's hurting a little, but this is the fun part. Apparently, you can rub your back raw from the pack. Wasn't expecting that. So, sitting here doing that, just taking it all in, you know. I appreciate you going on the journey with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, it's just crazy. I'm in a complete state of awe. Like, I'm thinking about it, and I can't believe I actually just did that at all. So, takeaway here. You can do hard things if you want to. All right, Jishin out.
You know, if I could say something by looking back at it all, I would say you can do hard things. There are always going to be challenges in life. And there are going to be times in your life where it's hard and you see that mountain and you don't want to climb it. And the reality is that the less you climb mountains, the harder it is for you to climb one when the time comes. But you have to realize that there is the best version of you in that moment on the other side of that climb, if you're just willing to climb up it. So do hard things and realize that the best version of yourself is through the challenge, not by avoiding it.